What's good, y'all? Coming at you with a Go Battle League recap video. We're having a lot of fun in Spring Cup Great League Edition with this spicy team I came up with myself. It's based around my favorite starter Pokemon, Hisuian Samurott, and it has Walrein and Tentacruel in the back. And it's all the suggested movesets with Fury Cutter, Sacred Sword, Icy Wind on Hisuian Samurott, Powder Snow, Icicle Spear, and Earthquake on Walrein, and then Acid, Scald, and Payback on Tentacruel. Now, at first, I started off with Dartrix instead of Walrein, but then it started kind of not working out too well because of how many ABB double fairy flying teams started popping up. So by swapping in Walrein, I still had anti-grass coverage, but also had anti-Togekiss and Togetic coverage as well. Now, I'm gonna be honest, this team does have less play into teams that have Jellicent. But because of Hisuian Samurott's water dark typing, plus its less meta usage, Jellicent players tend to worry about it really fast, and they tend to try and protect their Jellicent from the Samurott, so they make a lot of weird plays and swaps, so it's kind of funny to see. Now, the battles that I'm going to show you, I actually went 10-0, and I came up with the Walrein swap on the fly, and it worked wonders. These battles were fun as hell, and I can't wait to get into them, so let's go ahead and get started. Coming into game 1 versus Dirty Frank, we're going to be leading Hisuian Samurott into a shiny Shadow Galarian Weezing. Huge flex, but terrible lead for us. We're swapping right into a Walrein. We don't want to expose Tentacruel just yet, but they bring in their own Water Ice type, Lapras. Now we're going to be throwing this Earthquake for some pretty strong neutral damage, but at this point we're thinking, okay, maybe they're running Skull Bash in Spring Cup, and we are correct. It is a Skull Bash, which would have done crazy damage to us, but we're able to get that first shield off with an Earthquake. We swap back into a Hisuian Samurott. We'll see if this is actually a Skull Bash, praying that it's not. Gonna be Sparkling Aria, but they swap right back into their Galarian Weezing, which this means that they're just going to want to try and get rid of our Samurott ASAP, but we're going to be able to get to the Icy Wind. We'll see if we get their first shield from this, which we do. Incredible. So now this opens up so many doors, dude. We're going to be taking this Brutal Swing, and then we're going to be swapping out, banking that Hisuian Samurott for later. And then we're going to be taking a Sludge for some reason instead of Brutal Swing, which is fine. But they bring back in the Lapras. We're going to throw a Payback to make sure we finish off the Lapras. Not sure if a Scald would have been enough damage, but they bring in a Gourgeist. We're going to be able to get to the Payback, and we'll see if this is going to be able to KO in one hit. Nope. The Gourgeist hangs on, but we make an amazing catch with our Hisuian Samurott, banking and saving our Tentacruel. So both Walrein and Tentacruel are pretty healthy. We're able to farm down the Gourgeist, get to an Icicle Spear, and this is going to KO the Galarian Weezing. That's going to be a GG for game 1. Coming into game 2, we got Samurott versus Gourgeist, which is kind of an okay lead, but that C-Bomb is going to be happening pretty fast. We're going to have to shield up here ASAP. So we don't want to take that C-Bomb to the face because Samurott is very, very glassy, but we're going to be overcharging a little bit. They're going to throw another Incinerate, but we're going to be getting off an Icy Wind and getting that first shield. We'll see if they want to throw right away, but they bank that energy for later and bring in their own Water Dark type, Greninja. We're going to be taking a Night Slash to the face, but we don't get a boost just yet. We're going to throw the Earthquake, and we'll see if they shield. No shield, and perfect farm down for the Walrein. We'll see what they bring in next. Going to be Jellicent. Now, it's going to be kind of an uphill battle because of the fact that the only dark type damage we're going to be doing to this Jellicent is going to be from Tentacruel. But instead, they kind of get scared of Hisuian Samurott and swap back out into Gourgeist and already spend their final shield. So I think they're just kind of scared of Hisuian Samurott. They're trying to get rid of it ASAP because they're like, I don't know what moves it has. Let's just keep spamming it. Let's just keep spamming. So we bring in Tentacruel for an amazing farm down here. Plus, it's already debuffed, so we don't got to shield anything here. Take the Shadow Ball, but they bring in the Jellicent for a Wombo combo. We're going to be shielding up against the Shadow Ball, but it's a Surf. And look at that. Payback is going to get off, and they already quit. It's going to be GG's for game 2. Coming into game 3, we got Samurott versus Jellicent in the lead. Now, I want to see what they do here because normally, like I said, they kind of play like they're a bit scared of Hisuian Samurott, but I think this guy knows the recommended moveset is all nothing but resisted damage. So we're going to be taking that Shadow Ball, but it's kind of rough, but they do swap into the Galarian Weezing, which opens up a couple of doors for us because this is where we want the Weezing. We don't want on anything else, but they throw a freaking Hyper Beam, dude. We're going to be throwing the Skull. We'll see if they shield up. They do not, but let's see if they're running Sludge or Brutal Swing on their Weezing. They're throwing Sludge, and we're going to be farming all the way down. They're going to bring back in their Jellicent. We're going to see if we can try and bait the shield off of them. And they do not shield. They call our bait amazingly, but we'll see if we can still clutch this game because they're getting kind of low here. We'll throw the Icy Wind, and they shield up anyway. They shield up anyway, dude. That's beautiful. So we're going to be taking the Shadow Ball. Down goes our only real answer to Jellicent here. But we're going to be bringing in a Walrein just because of the fact that we can actually KO at this point with Icicle Spear. And they don't shield. Goodbye. And then we see a Bomb of Snow, which is actually just fine for us because of the fact that a Bomb of Snow is going to be dealing double resisted damage to our Walrein, but we're going to be outpacing with very strong neutral damage with the Powder Snow and Icicle Spear. They shield it right away, and I'm going to be throwing ASAP just so they don't get a chance to swap it out into their Galarian Weezing to catch the move. But we bring in our Tentacruel and catch the move. Is it going to be Energy Ball? Boom, an amazing catch on the Energy Ball. We're going to be getting to another Icicle Spear. They don't make the swap to catch. This is going to be KOing the Abomasnow. I guess they might have quit right here because look, we lagged out there. But that's going to be it. GG's. Coming to the next game, we got Samurott versus Seeking, a very spicy lead here in Spring Cup, but we haven't seen that many of them. So we're going to be throwing the Sacred Sword. It's going to be doing a good amount of damage, but they bring in their Galarian Weezing safe swap. Again, this is where we want it because we only want it on Tentacruel and on nothing else. They throw Overheat, I guess, for the most amount of damage here. We're going to be throwing a Scald here. We'll see what they do. No attack debuff from that, but we'll be trying to farm all the way down. We'll see what move they throw next. It's going to be another Overheat. Still doing a good amount of damage, but now we're going to be getting a farm down. But they swap it out just in time and try to wombo combo with the Seeking. We're spamming that switch button just to get back in our Hisuian Samurott and try to get that first shield off of this Seeking. And we're able to do that, but they're able to outpace to another move. So let's see if we decide to shield. No shield. Down goes Samurott. We're going to be trying to farm down here. Praying that it's not going to be a Mega Horn or anything like that. Mega Horn? Nope, another Drill Run. We're going to be trying to farm down here. Beautiful farm down from Walrein, and they just quit. Good game. Coming into the next game, we got Jared Bloom coming in with their Empoleon, which is a great matchup for us because we have freaking Sacred Sword, and we also win Captai versus Empoleon, which is beautiful. It's going to be doing a crazy amount of damage with Sacred Sword. We don't got to shield the first Drill Peck because we are not going to get KO'd by it. We'll see if we can go for a farm down here, which we do amazing. Now we're going to be throwing in Icy Wind against the Lurantis. Let's see if they shield up, which they do. We're actually going to let ourselves get farmed down because there's no point. We already win alignment, but they bring in their Shadow Abomasnow, so they're running a double grass backline. We're going to be throwing the Scald here. See if we can get that final shield. It's going to be easy money, baby. Easy money. We're going to be actually no shielding, and we call it somehow. They throw the Weather Ball instead of throwing straight Energy Ball, which is just fine. Now they're the Energy Ball, and we're going to bring in our Walrein and farm all the way down, get ahead on energy, see if what they want to do, and they do force the Captai, which is just fine because you have one more shield to burn. You take the Leaf Blade, throw this Icicle Spear. It's going to one-hit KO. That's going to be a good game. So at this point, we're already 5-0 with this team, which I'm like, oh my god, this is actually crazy. A triple water team is going 5-0 in Spring Cup. What a surprise. But still, kind of weird that Hisuian Samurott's working a little bit because of the fact that Sacred Sword's doing some pretty good neutral damage, plus Icy Wind debuffs are coming in clutch. Let's see how we get the next 5-0 here. Coming into our next set of 5, we're going up against an Amoonguss lead, which is actually pretty solid because of the fact that it's going to be doing resisted damage with Astonish, but we got to watch out for that Grass Knot. So we're going to be throwing the Icy and we'll see if we can get that first shield. No shield. Amoonguss is pretty bulky for such a little mushroom, but we're going to be taking that Foul Play bait, but they bring in their Togekiss, which is actually a pretty good core breaker if we didn't just throw the Icy Wind. So now we can bring in all Walrein safely tank this Aura Sphere, and we're going to be getting to the Icicle Spear. We'll see if they want to shield up here. Getting off, and boom, down goes Togekiss, and then they bring in Victreebel. Now we can actually get to another Icicle Spear. I'm fine seeing this here because we can get off their final shield, and look at all that Powder Snow damage. Jeez, Victreebel. So now we're bringing in our Tentacruel. We'll see if we can just go ahead and tank this damage, and we bring back in our Samurott. Hope this was a good catch on a move. No, it was the Grass Knot, but I'm glad we called that. So we're going to go straight for the farm down, and they do quit. Good game. Coming into game 2, we go Samurott against Torterra lead, which is actually kind of interesting. We'll see how much damage you can do, but they insta-swap into Kingdra. First Kingdra we've seen, despite it being actually pretty good in this cup. We do the Icy Wind to get that debuff off on the Kingdra. Bring in Tentacruel because it's pretty bulky here, and we can actually try to farm all the way down if we wanted to. But we'll see if they decide to throw an Outrage here. Nope, they're going straight Swift. We're going to go for the farm down, and down goes Kingdra. They bring back in Torterra. We're going to be actually just throwing straight Scald here because it's going to be strong neutral damage. We'll see if we can get to the next one. But we actually decided to swap back into Samurott to try and snipe it. They didn't fall for it, but they bring in Pelipper. So it's Torterra and Pelipper core. Interesting. So we're going to be throwing the Sacred Sword to see if they get that first shield. Boom, there's the first shield. Now we're going to be getting off another Sacred Sword. They're kind of getting greedy. Trying to farm down with the wing attack. It's not going to work. We get the final shield here. We're going to no shield. And then what they do is they try to swap out to erase the debuff, but then they don't even get off the move that they had banked from Torterra, and that's going to be a good game. Coming into the next game, we have Samurott versus Greninja. So watch this damage. Fury Cutter into Greninja. They swap instantly into Empoleon, which is actually crazy. It feels like Samurott's just going to take this whole game. Already double weak is crazy. So we're going to no-shield the first Drill Peck. We'll see if we can get both shields off of their Empoleon. We're already making a lot of energy here. They shield the first move. We're going to go again for a Sacred Sword, forcing the Captai. We'll see if they want to shield again. They shield already. So Samurott, you're going to be doing a lot of work here, bro. You better get ready. They bring in Jellicent, so they're triple weak to Samurott, but we don't have a dark type move. So we're going to bring back in our Tentacruel. Since they're already shields down, we can actually go ahead and get to the payback, but we are going to have to shield up here because they're outpacing us for the damage. They throw the Surf, which is unfortunate for us, but we do want to get rid of Jellicent here. Payback is going to be nearly KOing, but we get the good farm down for Tentacruel on the Jellicent. Going to be throwing the Scald just to do some pretty strong resisted damage, but look at that, insane. So we're going to be tanking this Night Slash, letting Tentacruel go down, bringing in Wall Ring because it's super healthy, and it can tank at least 2-3 Night Slashes before it goes down, unless it get the boost. But at this point, we're just going to try and farm it all the way down. Going to get out one more Night Slash, and then they're going to try and bring in the Empoleon, and we're going to get off the Earthquake here. Beautiful game. GG's. Coming into the next game, we got Samurott versus Shadow Mawile. Let's see what moveset it has. Oh, they swap out instantly, so we can assume it could have been Astonish or Fire Fang, but they bring in their Victory Belt, and we actually get the first shield easily. We're going to bring in a Wall Ring so we can farm down quickly to avoid them getting off a bunch of Leaf Blades here, but unfortunately we already do have to shoot shields, so it's kind of rough. But we farm all the way down. Now let's see what they want to do next. They bring back in the Mawile with Fire Fang. Let's throw the Earthquake here. We'll see if we can KO it. They do shield up right away, and that's totally fine. But we're going to swap to Tentacruel to catch the move, which is perfect for us. And it was a Vice Grip. Ooh, kind of rough for us, but they bring in the Gourgeist, and they're already throwing Seed Bomb, which is not going to KO from here at all. So we're going to throw a Payback here. We'll see if the Gourgeist lives, or see if we can KO it and try to get some farm down. Down goes Gourgeist, but we're going to be throwing the Scald at the last second. I think this is going to KO because it's a Shadow Mawile. GG's. Well played, dude. Coming into the next game, we got Samurott versus Shadow Greninja lead. So Fury Code is going to be destroying it. And then bring in a Shadow Venusaur. We're going to be trying to just do quick chip damage and then swap out right away into Wall Rain, because we got to do that Powder Stone damage, man. And Venusaur has Sludge and Fancy Plant, so it's going to be even spammier now. We got to watch out for that. So we're going to be throwing the Icicle Spear and getting off that final shield almost immediately. They do have a lot of energy banked. We're going to see if we can just shield up and try to farm down, which we do. But we get off an Earthquake here. So we'll see if we can KO here, because Shadow Greninja is super frail. Boom, down goes Greninja. Crazy. So we're going to see what their third Pokemon is in just a second here. And it's going to be a Klefki. So we're going to be throwing the Scald as soon as we get to it. Or not. We're just going to go ahead and take a Foul Play instead, which does a good amount of damage, especially for a Klefki. That's kind of crazy. We're going to get off that first Scald finally. And then we do get the attack debuff. They swap back into Venusaur. They try to see if they can force a Cacti, which they are successful in. And we do live to get off the final KOing Scald. Good game. And that's how we went 10-0 with this team comp. It's actually insane how well this team did. This is what I like about running Spice in Go Battle League, because sometimes you just catch people by surprise, and it opens up new possibilities, like new ways of thinking for Go Battle League. Like, oh, maybe this Pokemon actually could work in a given meta, as long as you have the right coverage and the right synergy. The meta has shifted since I went 10-0 with this team, but it's still working pretty nicely. So let me know if you guys try it, and let me know how well it performs for you. Also, let me know what teams you guys are playing with in the Spring Cup, because I kind of want to know what you guys are running, just so I can get some ideas for the next time Spring Cup comes through. Thanks for watching, y'all. Hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.